dignity, safety, and justice, gender-based violence. Please welcome our next speaker, who also happens to be my older sister, Dr. Khadija Adams.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh, and good morning everyone. Thank you for being here today. My name is Dr. Khadija Adams, and it gives me great honor to address you all on a very important topic affecting our country. Gender-based violence, a national crisis. I speak to you today not just with statistics and facts, but with urgency, conviction, and hope. Let me begin with a haunting question, one that echoes in the hearts of women across our country. Am I next? These three words became a national outcry in 2019 after the brutal murder of 19-year-old Uyinene Retiana, who was a 19-year-old university student simply collecting a parcel at the post office. Her death shook the nation. But Uyinene's story, tragically, is not unique. South Africa is in the grip of a silent war against its women. So what is gender-based violence? Gender-based violence, or GBV, is defined as harmful acts directed at individuals based on their gender. In South Africa, it primarily affects women and girls at levels among the highest in the world. On a human level, survivors often suffer trauma, post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, and stigma from the society. Children exposed to GBV often bear long-term psychological harm. As you can see by this diagram, GBV is not only limited to things like emotional abuse, physical and domestic violence, sexual assault, etc. It grows much deeper than that, including topics that are often overlooked, such as catcalling, justifying sexist jokes and attitudes by saying it's only a joke, or boys will be boys, groping areas, and sending pictures of genitalia, etc. So let's look at the numbers. According to the Quarter 1 Crime Statistics report for the 2021 and 2022 period, about 1 in 3 women in South Africa are victims of domestic violence. A woman is killed by her intimate partner every 8 hours. South Africa's femicide rate is almost 5 times the global average. In the year ending on the 31st of March 2024, South African police data recorded over 27,000 murders, among which over 5,500 were women and over 1,600 were children. More than 53,000 sexual offences were reported in just 1 year, the majority of them being rape cases. These numbers are horrifying. But what's even more horrifying is that these are just the reported cases. Most survivors never speak out, silenced by fear, shame, or disbelief from those around them. I'm just going to share a quick video. It might, just a trigger warning, it might be, some of the scenes might be a bit triggering to sensitive viewers, just a disclaimer.
Another pandemic is raging in our country.
On the left. unless the women have been emancipated from all forms of oppression.
So even though this video clip was released by Parliament 5 years ago, this is still the reality that we face today. So why is this? Why does this continue? The roots of gender-based violence run quite deep. Our society is still plagued by patriarchy, which are systems and beliefs that put men in power and devalue a woman, cultural norms that excuse or normalize violence in the name of discipline or masculinity, economic dependence, poverty, and unemployment, which trap women in abusive relationships. Weak enforcement, where perpetrators are not held accountable and victims are not believed. In some communities, violence is seen not as a crime, but just the way things are. So what is the human cost? Gender-based violence is just not about the statistics. It's about stolen lives. It's about Kwekwe, a 7-year-old girl whose alleged rape sparked protests across the country earlier this year. It's about daughters who never come home, mothers who live in fear, survivors who must often live with physical and emotional scars, often in silence. The cost is also economic. So gender-based violence costs South Africa billions of rands every year, draining resources from healthcare, policing, and social support. But the greatest cost? The loss of human dignity, safety, and trust. So what is being done? To be fair, there are steps being taken. The National Strategic Plan on GBV and Femicide aims to coordinate efforts across sectors and was launched in 2020. Tutuzela Care Centers offer one-stop services for rape survivors, including integrated medical, psychosocial, and legal support. They have numerous locations across the province, including Carl Bremer Hospital, Heidefall Clinic, as well as Khadija and others. There's also the Gen G Engage app, which is launched in March of 2025 by Action Aid South Africa and others. It is a zero-rated app, meaning it doesn't require any data or any airtime to operate. And what this app does is it helps individuals and organizations access information, justice, as well as case monitoring. There's also a National Council on GBV and Femicide that was launched in 2024 to improve overall oversight. So new legislation has strengthened the rights of victims as well as the penalties for the offenders. There are also global campaigns such as this one, the 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence, which runs from the 25th of November to the 10th of December globally, and this happens every year. And what this basically seeks is to raise awareness and mobilize action to end all forms of violence against women and girls. These are all very crucial developments, but they are not enough. So what is still missing? Despite progress, challenges still remain. Survivors still face disbelief, blame, and humiliation when reporting abuse. Many police stations lack trained personnel or sensitivity to handle such cases. In rural areas, support services are almost non-existent. Conviction rates remain low. Delays are long. Justice, if it comes, often comes too late. And critically, we still have not addressed the roots, the harmful beliefs, the norms, and behaviors that enable GBV to persist, as I'll show in the next video. if I can get this video to work. I think the connection is bad here, so I think I'll skip the video for now. Anyway, so what we basically have to do, this is a call for action. What do we do? How do we as individuals, as a community, as a society, how do we respond? First, we must listen to the survivors. We need to believe them, we need to support them, we need to stand with them. Second, we must demand real accountability from our government and the justice system. They need to protect women, not just in theory and with all the laws and legislature, but in practice too. Third, we must work to transform attitudes, especially amongst our boys and our men. We need to teach respect, empathy, and emotional intelligence from the home to the classroom and in the community. Fourth, we must ensure that no woman feels alone, that every girl knows her worth, that no one is ever left to ask, am I next again? So where is the help available? Reach out. If you are in danger or traumatized or know anyone that may need help, please call one of the national hotlines or emergency numbers, and they run 24/7, so you can phone at any time. There are also shelters and trauma support centers that I have shared on the screen. You deserve safety, care, and justice. So in closing, gender-based violence is not inevitable. It is not just the way things are. It is a choice made by individuals and a failure by society to intervene. But just as violence is learned, so is equality. Just as silence is dangerous, so is our voice powerful. Let us use that power. Let us break the silence. Let us fight for a South Africa where women and girls can live, not in fear, but in freedom. And finally, I'd like to leave you with these words by Matthew Henry that I found very inspirational. The woman was made out of the rib out of the side of Adam, not made out of his head to rule over him, nor out of his feet to be trampled upon him, but out of his side to be equal with him, under his arm to be protected, and near his heart to be beloved. Thank you all, ladies, for your time and attention. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Adams, for that empowering session. Before we continue, do you have any questions? And if, Khadija, do you want to just leave it for a few seconds? If anybody wants to take photos of any of the information on the screen, don't be shy, take photos. Remember, being silent is not going to help anybody. In fact, it's going to make matters worse. So if anybody would like to take down where the help is available, we do have contact details where you can contact, and we can continue afterwards.
Can I just say something? Our closest to Tuzela Center is at Victoria Hospital, okay? That's where our victims of gender-based violence goes, our sexual assaults, okay? And you don't need a letter or a referral to go. Remember, that's lots of people think, oh, I don't go because I don't have a doctor's letter. You don't need a doctor's letter to go. And remember, people, one of the main things that people are afraid of is going to the police to open up a case. And you don't have to be afraid. The only way to stop this is to go and open up a case so that we can put a stop to all of this type of violence. Even with our gangs, I mean, we haven't even touched the issue of the gangs, but don't be afraid. Power starts with you. You have the power. If you don't speak up about something that is wrong, nothing is ever going to change.
So, we do have one of our sponsors from UPL Labs, Mr. Amir. Is he with us? Just to give a few words.